That, right there, was where it all started. Even from the first time they laid eyes on each other, we felt the chemistry that would continue to build and brew. Not to mention the hilarity that ensued from the interactions between a modern woman and an 18th century man.
Can I guess you've done this before?
I'm a nurse. Not a wet nurse.
Oh, hi there. I'm Janet, and you're watching Awesome Movies. Let's travel back in time to the most shipworthy Jamie and Claire moments ever, which must certainly kick off with that time after Claire had just arrived at Castle Leach. She's still traumatized and scared, understandably so, you know, after falling through the stones. Then, being assaulted by a mean man with her husband Frank's face. Now, in an unfamiliar place where she's deemed an outsider. Luckily, she's got Jamie and all his injuries to occupy her mind with, and he seems appreciative for the in-house care he's getting.
You're a kind woman. With a good touch.
And seriously though, how could Claire not fall in love after this comfort sesh?
He's not alive.
Now, between all this and the wedding night, the stolen glances and romantic tension were sometimes too much to bear. Luckily, the wedding happened in season 1. 'Cause imagine if they'd stretched it out till season 2, we'd have all gone mad or what?
It was as if I stepped outside on a cloudy day.
One of the most rewatchable scenes ever. Also, this is one arranged marriage that didn't feel that forced. Anyways, I don't really have to tell you, but passion was ignited on the wedding night, especially when the more experienced Claire taught Jamie the subtleties of how it should be done. You know, because he didn't realize you did it face to face.
Should go to bed?
To bed? Or to sleep?
Unfortunately, we can't even show you their steamiest scenes because they're too hot for YouTube to handle. So, moving on. Being Outlander, the adventures soon began. Claire stubbornly trying to get back to her own time meant Jamie got tasked with always having to save her from some or other peril. One that is hard to forget, of course, being Black Jack Randall. All the stress paid off, though, when viewers got to see Jamie's rescue mission.
Thank you to take your hands off my wife.
With the spanking that followed, their wedding bliss, let's just say, came to an abrupt halt. But, in spite of that, when Jamie learns the truth about Claire's real time and gives her the choice to return, this scene broke our hearts, but in all the right ways.
On your feet, soldier. Take me home to Ladderbrook.
Good choice, Claire. After saving his Sassenach from the witch trials and so forth, Claire soon got her chance to save Jamie. In the aftermath of his torture at the hands of Black Jack, we got a moment that demonstrated real love. Claire tells Jamie what will happen if he takes away the only thing that makes sense to her.
And I will die. With you right here now.
His totally heart-wrenching question, "How can you have me like this?" results in the most romantic answer ever.
I will have you anywhere I can. Always.
Whew. Life has thrown these two a few sucker punches, right? Yet their love always prevails. And while season 2 was understandably less seamy, it also had its warm moments, like when Jamie told Claire how Jenny also worried about motherhood.
I knew it was in her nature to be a kind and loving mother.
Of course, Claire lost that baby, and then followed the ordeal of killing Dougal when he discovered them plotting to kill Bonnie Prince Charlie to avert Culloden. Well then, the farewell at the Stones was one of the most romantic ever. It's the ultimate act of sacrifice and love that Jamie would rather break both their hearts to protect Claire and their baby.
Heart, you gave me a rare woman.
And of course, we can't show you that steamy farewell moment. But it's funny to hear Caitriona Balfe's revelation that there was some debate about how Claire and Jamie's final moment of intimacy should play out. She laughed recalling that. There was a lot of talk about up against a tree, and I was like, no, not gonna happen that way. That is so not romantic. The rest of the team was like, well, it's gonna be cold and wet. Are you gonna wanna be on the ground? Of course, we all know which option she took. After they separated, we were heartbroken. Sure, the poignant memories helped, but it wasn't the same as them being together. So, the print shop reunion scene is obviously next on our list of top moments.
It isn't Geordie. It's me.
After Jamie was revived, the newfound awkwardness was so special to watch.
I would very much like to kiss you. May I?
Yes.
And that's what he did. Well, let's fast forward to an all-time favorite. After Claire washed up on an island, who was nearby, just at the right place at the right time to spot Claire's mirror signal? You know who. For all its clichéness, who doesn't love a good run on the beach? Which brings us to later on the boat, when Claire was drunk off Willoughby's special turtle soup, and the two, had to bolt the door.
Bolt the door. Bolt the door.
How did I do that?
Of course, this wasn't the only boat intimacy we got to witness. Remember this one? Now, as we headed into season 4 alongside our favorite TV couple, we saw them move into a new country. In America the Beautiful, the show did not disappoint when it kicked off with some good old outdoors lovemaking. But we're after the most romantic moment ever, when Jamie lifted Claire over the doorway of their yet-to-be-built house at Fraser Ridge.
And over here, a wee pantry and the hearth. And I'll perform a hearth blessing.
It's perfect.
That it is, Claire. That it is. Much later, after they bid Lord John Grey and the young Willie goodbye, they finally got some alone time. And what is better than a steamy bath scene, right? Especially when it comes with a loving gift of a new wedding ring, made by Murtaugh out of one of Jamie's mother's silver candlesticks. Of course, that's not enough. It's also inscribed, "Give me 1,000 kisses," to which Claire replied,
I'll give you 1,000 more.
Now, and while season 5's first half certainly was a dark affair, the two soulmates still managed to squeeze in some romance. In fact, now that their relationship is running much deeper and they have a much more mature marriage, it's safe to say the moments are even more powerful than season 1's passionate scenes.
Trust me, Claire.
With my life.
Also, remember when Jamie awoke to find Claire out of bed?
Could have raised me from the dead for this.
After the horrific events that transpired later in season 5, this is where we left off. And suffice it to say, Droughtlander cannot be over soon enough.
Who knows how much longer we'll have this peace.
And the day shall come that we do part. If my last words are not, I love you, again, it's because I didn't have time.
Over to you. Which moment was your favorite? Would you like to add any? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay awesome.